Good evening to you all, and welcome to this cancer reception cocktail here at Yosh restaurant. This is a new place. I've never been here, but it's beautiful. And the evening is beautiful, even though it's very hot outside, but it's very relaxing here. I hope you're all enjoying yourself. On behalf of SCAF and Change for Change, we want to welcome you to this series of events organized to celebrate cancer awareness. As you all know, SANI's Cancer Awareness Foundation was set up last year by a young lady who I have said used her sorrow to build strength. Yaus Konate is not just a fashion designer, she's a creative fashion designer. But personally, I have seen a different side of Yaus when she lost her sister. She just did not sit there and let people feel sorry for her. She used her sorrow to get strength. And using her sorrow to get strength, she also tried to make sure she used her voice to create awareness about this disease. I have said this to, I think, 2 or 3 people. I think Dr. Ramanjai. I have been on television for the past, let's say, 20 years. I lost my mom to kidney in 2009. I have never, ever spoken about this. I don't have the courage. And last year, I went to the doctor. I went to see Dr. Rama at MRC just to do some regular checks because I was scared. I was just getting sick, and I'm like, maybe, something like that is happening. And during our consultation, we spoke about it, and she encouraged me. Like, she used every possible means to say, Fatou, I think you should use your voice to promote the cause. You should speak about it. I still do not find the courage to speak about kidney. I still cannot talk about my mom's story because I knew she was dying. And how many people can do that? People like me. I stand in front of people and talk on television, but I still don't have the courage to talk about things that are really personal to me. So to see somebody like Yaus use her voice and today be the leading voice for cancer in the Gambia is very inspiring to me and so many other Gambians. And we want to say thank you very much, Yaus, and we encourage you. So this is why this foundation was set up. And I am not able to launch my own foundation, but I want to be part of people like her to help create awareness because this is a great initiative. And the approach the SCAF is taking is not just to look at expensive ways of curing cancer. What SCAF is doing is to go to the grassroots, to creative, preventive ways to make awareness for the local people. Because for somebody to go to like a health center like Bafro and pay 16,000 for consultation, like how many of us can do that? But what SCAF is doing is to create the awareness for people to be able to know what the disease is about, what are the local preventive measures we can do that are available towards us. So I think this is a great initiative, and we want to thank Yaus, the SCAF Foundation, in collaboration with Change for Change. And we want to welcome all of you who have been supporting this initiative. And I want to say thank you very much, Yaus, for giving me this opportunity to be part of this great initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I just want to welcome the ambassador, the British High Commissioner, Sharon Waddell, to give us the opening remarks. And please put your hands together for the High Commissioner, Sharon.
Can I just say how beautiful everybody looks tonight with your pink outfits. Absolutely amazing that everyone has got into the spirit of the evening. It was an honour and a privilege to have been invited to come along and lend a voice of support to this very, very special occasion. I do, however, feel remarkably unqualified to talk to you on the subject, but what I can do is just very briefly share my personal story or connections and use that as a way of saying I know what it's like and how important it is that we continue to work together to raise awareness of breast cancer and cancer more broadly. And let me say that word several times: cancer, cancer, cancer. It's horrible. It's a brutal illness, and it's one that so many of us just avoid talking about, whether with family or friends, because it isn't very nice. It isn't a pleasant disease. It can take very, very many forms. For me personally, my biggest exposure to cancer came just over 5 years ago. My younger brother passed away after about 18 months of battling with kidney cancer, which then spread. And it was a torrid time. It was extremely difficult. And I think perhaps particularly hard for my parents, because as I'm sure all of you will agree, one thing that you never expect to do is be saying goodbye to your children before you. What did happen in the aftermath, though, of losing my brother was that I suddenly became much more acutely aware of just how widespread these diseases are and how many different lives are affected on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. And for example, and I use this as a good example for why it is absolutely critical to be aware and to do the tests. My sister-in-law at the moment is coming through to the last stages of treatment for breast cancer. She was diagnosed in the UK last, I think it was November, December time. She wasn't diagnosed because she thought there was something wrong and was worried about breast cancer. She went to the doctors for something completely different, and it emerged in the course of the consultation. So she's been on that journey since then. It's a difficult journey, and again, it can be quite a lonely journey, but she's coming out of the other side, and our thoughts and prayers remain with her on a daily basis. I spoke to her this morning, and she was a bit grumpy about needing some physiotherapy and feeling like a 90-year-old, but at least she's well enough to complain. So my message really here is very simple. It is a disease that so many of us will be touched by during our lives. So many of us will be affected by, but we can do so much by continuing to talk and not pushing things under the carpet, not broaching subjects with our sisters, our family members, whether it's in schools or in health clinics. So I do encourage you to keep talking, talk, talk, talk. It's the best way and the only way that we can battle some of these horrible diseases that sadly affect so many of us. And my last thought for everybody, based on my own personal experience, is that as I said before, it can be an extremely lonely illness to be dealing with. So when you know of a family member or a friend who's going through something like this, don't feel shy about talking about it. People need to talk. I think this week, it's also Mental Health Awareness Week, I think it reminds us of just how important it is to think about others' mental health, which can also be affected when you're suffering from these diseases. But I don't want to end on a negative note, because everybody looks so absolutely fabulous tonight. This is a positive initiative. We're learning from some sad experiences, but together, and thanks to the initiative of yours and the team, I am sure that you are going to make a huge difference in the Gambia, and it's so wonderful to see so many people here supporting you. Thank you.
I also want to acknowledge the presence of the President of the Gambia Press Union, Mr. Sharif Bojang, and also a sister who is also pioneering, making awareness about cancer, Aji Ndeye Dafe. She's here. And of course, also our sister who is a cancer survivor. I definitely want to make sure we know she's in the house. She's also talking about her experience. That is Madam Cisse. We want to welcome you both from Dakar. They're also doing a great job, and we want to acknowledge your presence. Your Change for Change is a foundation that was set up by young people in 2011. A group that was motivated by young individuals to give back to community, the community. SCAF and Change will embark on a series of activities in commemoration of Breast Cancer Awareness Month to increase the level of awareness in breast cancer and in the population. It's going to be a series of events. Of course, we witnessed the press conference, and today the cocktail reception, and there's going to be a cancer walk in Kafuta, and also there's going to be a symposium at the Gambia College. So to summarize all of this, I'm going to invite Yosh, the Executive Director of SCAF, to just tell us her experience, and of course to welcome you all on tonight's cocktail. Yosh.
Assalamu alaikum to each and everyone here tonight. I would like to say we're very humbled to have everyone leave their Saturday activities to come and join us to embrace Cancer Awareness Month in this form of a reception cocktail. I would like to say a very big thank you to Your Excellency, Sharon Waddle, for not only coming to attend this event with us, but also to acknowledge our invitation to give welcome remarks to everyone here. I would like to say that this month is Pinktober, like most of the people have been raising awareness in cancer, including SCAF, Senior Cancer Awareness Foundation. And on that note, may I ask everyone to do a quick 1-minute prayers to everybody that have passed away from this serial killer. Seni's Cancer Awareness Foundation was inspired by my sister Seni, who passed away in December 24, 2016, 2 years ago. And it all started last year, 2017, when I was about to celebrate my 10th year anniversary in fashion business. And then as I was preparing for this event, everything was going well until about a month and a half before the event. I started feeling not right about it. And it was pretty weird because it always happened as I was going home from work. So I tried to find out what it was, and it was like a month before the event, Seni just popped up in my mind, and I felt good. I felt good about the weirdness that was happening about the event not being right. And then I thought, okay, maybe this is what it is. So the next step I took was to go or to talk to a few mentors first. And fortunately, one of my mentors is here, William Jai. I told him what I was feeling and what I wanted to do, which was to raise funds from the proceeds I had from my event I was doing towards cancer. And he then said he knew the right people, or he recommended the right people, and I would say this again, the right people, because when I went to see Dr. Ramanjai, who is also here with us and will be standing here in a short time to talk to us about cancer, and yes, then he made the recommendation, and I went to see Doctor to tell Doctor what my idea was about raising funds towards cancer from this event. And this was my initial step that I wanted to do, not knowing there was something beyond that was bigger, that was supposed to be the new purpose for me to step into. And when I went to see a doctor and told her my idea as to what I wanted to do, and she listened, and she listened to me very well, and she welcomed the idea, but she was the very one that said, Yosh, I think your idea or your intention is really good, but unfortunately there's nowhere for you to give the funds to. And I was really shocked with that response. And she was like, yes, so you might be the one then to help us raise awareness in this serial killer that is very highly affecting people, not only women but also men. And we went into talking about cancer, and we talked and we talked and we talked so much about it. And she then recommended and said, why don't you set up a cancer foundation? Which I took so much time before I responded to. And she was like, take your time, you don't need to respond to this now. You can go home, think about it, and come back with an answer. I then went back home and talked to my parents about it, and they were like, only if you can take it, if you can handle it well, then the choice is yours. So, you know, that going back to doctor and telling her that I was thinking, but it was mostly on the positive side that I would do it. And she gave some few tasks, and she told me how horrible the disease is, you know, because to me, I only started knowing about cancer when Saini passed away from cancer. It was very shocking to us, the family, because we didn't know about it. She didn't take it for long. She gave up. I'll say gave up because Saini was a very strong woman that would take anything. She was one of the strongest branch of the family. She was my confidant, and she meant a lot to me and pushed the house creation so far to where it is today. And so, you know, I said to doctor that, yes, we're gonna do this, and I'll do my best to push it, even though I'm not a medical background and I have no idea what I'm gonna get into, but it's a big challenge and I love challenges. And then I started doing my research. And the more I do more research, the more it became more meaningful. And, you know, going to the hospital in Banjul, the EFSTH, and talking to few survivors and patients that were going through it, it made it more real to step into this or to take this initiative and make noise about it. And at SCAF, what we're doing when we set up the foundation, what our idea was to raise awareness, because we also believe, or personally in the family, I also believe that was one of the problems that affected Saini, my sister, because with the way it is said about breast cancer, so one must know about it, but she never told us, she never talked about it. When it really, really disturbed her, or she was in so much pain because we were far away, I only had one brother and another sister that joined her at the latter part. She was only complaining of headache and body ache, but she didn't tell us what the problem was until she went to the hospital 3 weeks before her departure. That's when we realized that what it was. And when she was diagnosed, she refused to speak, she refused to eat, and she refused to do so many things she was doing. And so with that being the case, not long enough, she passed away from it. And, you know, going back to the conversation with doctor and the research I was doing, I was talking to these people and looking at the cancer care or the breast care units at the Banjul Hospital. When I went there to do some research, it was at a very devastating stage or situation. And, you know, to my other shocking moment, and then meeting a young lady that was about 17 years old who found a lump in her breast, also the complaint she gave. And, you know, just people taking cancer as a taboo, not to talk about it, I think is so wrong. Because of that, it's killing so much at a very fast rate. And so this is why SCAF is here. SCAF was born to raise awareness in cancer. And how we're gonna raise awareness is by talking to people about it, by educating people, by putting in preventive measures. We're also partnering with the right institutions, as in the EFSTH. They helped a lot last year when I just started doing my research. And this is why this year we have decided to partner with Your Change for a Change, who I have met in a very strange way, because we were both at the same place. This was 2 months ago, and having meeting about raising awareness in cancer. And so eventually we met up, and the guy that introduced us, Mr. Aliou Badara Sow, was like, hey, you guys need to come together because you're having the same meeting about the same thing but on different tables. Why don't you come together? And this is how I met them. And they've been very active and very helpful as well, and giving me more knowledge about the deadly disease as their more medical background. And so, to cut the story short, SCAF is raising awareness in cancer, and for the first time we're asking for people's support in any form, but especially in the financial form, and we're raising awareness by, our idea is to have like an army of young people who are going to be volunteering to go on the whole Gambia. And when we say Gambia, we mean Gambia from Banjul to Koina. And this is why this time we're going to be having our cancer walk in Kafuta. And in Kafuta, what we're going to be doing is we will be having a match with the women and the girls and even the men over there. We have a match, and then we will converge at the community center where we're going to talk to them by educating, by telling them about preventive measures, and also how to detect, how to do self-examination in terms of girls or women doing self-examination for breast cancer. And I'm really glad that Your Change for a Change also have been very active in not only being partners, but in also giving the right information in terms of cancer facts, which I'm not going to go into because that's the reason why I partnered with them, and they will talk more about their organization, what they do, and why they're doing it as well. And on this note, I would like to thank you, humble people, once again, and also our partners in joining us to make this happen, because without you guys, we wouldn't have reached here. This place where we are at now, Yosh, the manager, Astrid Mane, has been very supportive and helpful as well from the onset. And J Finn, we have Bell Aqua, also Yosh, like I mentioned earlier, Suhel with the art gallery, who's also been very supportive behind the scenes, even though he doesn't want me to mention it, and so many other people that are here. We thank you so much.
And thank you very much, Yosh. Like I said earlier, you've been an inspiration to so many young people. And now I invite Dr. Fatou BM Job, the Health Secretary of Your Change for a Change, to tell us about the organization and what they do, and of course their partnership with SCAF. Doctor.
I'm just gonna keep this very short and brief. We've been talking for long. Like mentioned, my name is Fatou BM Job. I'm a medical doctor, currently working at the Edward Francis Moore Teaching Hospital. I am the Health Minister of Your Change for a Change. This is a non-profit organization that was founded in 2011 by a group of young individuals that were driven by the motivation to give back to their community. These are people that thought that the little change I have plus the little change you have put together can be a great change in the community. The goal of our organization is to give back to the community, like I said, and also to tell the dangers of preventable yet deadly diseases that affect our communities. Diseases like breast cancer, diseases like non-communicable diseases like the diabetes, the hypertension, to name but a few. We do this by creating awareness and giving medical services free of charge, by organizing community outreach programs, by having health fairs in which we call community members so that they can come for free health screening and give them medications for some of the ailments they have, and if we screen and then find out that they have some certain conditions that can't be treated at that particular point in time, we refer them to their nearest health facilities. Another important activity that we do is the reproductive health for adolescents in schools. This is an activity that we go to junior and senior secondary schools, and we teach them about reproductive health. We thought it necessary that this was something very important to do, because in our culture, in our society, reproductive health is something that is not discussed in our homes, and it's important we teach them about teenage pregnancy, sexual transmitted infections, things like HIV and female genital mutilation and cutting and all those other things. There are different other activities that YCFSC does, like mentorship programs, back to school initiatives, to name but a few. Like I said, I'm not going to be talking for long, just to welcome everybody, and we hope that we know that breast cancer is something that is very deadly. It is something that if caught early, by early diagnosis and management, a person's life can be saved. But in our culture, like I said earlier, we do not talk much about certain things like cancers, and we tend to hide a lot of things that are disturbing us, some certain ailments or illnesses that we have. So, thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Fatou. At this point, I want to invite somebody who is definitely an inspiration to so many of us, Dr. Ramanjai, to come talk to us about cancer. She's the group head of GHIS WHO LARC. Dr. Ramanjai.
Good evening, dear friends, and thank you to Yosh for inviting me to say a few words. I have to say that I have been really, really, really impressed by the way you have taken your grief and the determination to do something with it. So I'm a medical doctor. I'm a gastroenterologist and a hepatologist. So I am head of the Gambia Hepatitis Intervention Study. So I work for the World Health Organization's International Agency for Research in Cancer. We're based inside MRC, but we do clinics all over the country in Keneba, Farafenye, Bansang, and Basse. And as part of that, I have to oversee the National Cancer Registry. So in Gambia, we have a cancer registry that is maintained by WHO IAC, and we collect information on all cancers that are diagnosed up and down the country. So I have staff called tumor registration officers who are based in all these hospitals. And when I got back, I mean, I was in the UK, as you know, for 20 years. And when I got back here, what I realized that in men, liver cancer actually is the biggest killer of young men in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. And in young men, this is mainly caused by hepatitis B virus. And the data from the cancer registry showed when I first came here that cancer of the cervix was the biggest killer of actually young men, cause of premature deaths in young women, followed by cancer of the liver and then breast cancer. But unfortunately, that breast cancer has actually overtaken now liver cancer in women. So liver cancer is top in men and is now number 3 in women. So in women, the biggest killers are cancer of the cervix and breast cancer. So part of our problem, I think, is we don't really have a word for cancer. People, when you mention cancer, people associate it with a death sentence. But actually, if you ask in Wolof, Mandinka, Fula, Jola, we actually do not have a word. I mean, I'll be happy to be educated if it is a word, because it's very difficult to fight against something if you don't even have a word for it. So there is a lot of fear, there is a lot of stigma attached to cancer. But actually there's a lot we can do, because the top 2 cancers that kill people in their most productive ages in this country are caused by viruses and are actually preventable. So these viruses now have vaccines. The vaccines are cheap and available, and if we make sure that all babies born here are vaccinated against hepatitis B at birth, and the human papilloma virus, which causes hepatitis C, that young children of school-going age are vaccinated, then we'll be protecting a lot of women in the future. And again, breast cancer can be a silent disease, so it is if it is detected early, then we can do something about it. We can do something about teaching women to do breast self-examinations. Unfortunately, what I told Yaos before still remains, in that we do not have a single oncologist. An oncologist is a specialist who deals with cancer in this country. So that is a problem, in that to treat cancer, it's actually for us going to be very difficult, because one thing I know is that no country, no matter how rich you are, can actually treat itself out of the cancer burden. It's expensive. And so, prevention has to be key. And there are many things, and in raising awareness, there are many things we can do to prevent cancer. Part of the reason why breast cancer is on the increase in our populations has been ascribed to the fact that many of us, as we become more affluent and have more disposable income, adopt a high-fat, high-processed diet with red meat and processed meats, and this increases the risk of many cancers, including bowel cancer as well as breast cancer. So certain things like diet, eating a healthy diet, more fruits and vegetables, reducing the amount of red meat, reducing the amount of salt that we eat, having regular exercise, trying to maintain a healthy body weight, because actually being overweight is a risk factor for many cancers. We've talked about bowel cancer, breast cancer, kidney cancer. So maintaining a healthy body weight is also one way of actually preventing cancers. So there's a lot to do. There's a lot to be done by the Ministry of Health, and we're doing a lot of advocacy there. There's a lot to be done in the private sector. NGOs and CSOs have a lot to do to raise awareness. Like I said, prevention is key. All cancers can potentially be cured if they're detected early. So prevention and early detection are the key to dealing with the cancer burden, which unfortunately in our continent, in Africa, is on the increase. So in 2012, about 800,000 people, in West Africa alone, estimated to have died of breast cancer, and this is on the increase. So we need to do something, and the first step is raising awareness, removing this fear and stigma, and getting people to talk about it and teaching women especially how to do breast self-examination and making sure that our girls and boys get vaccinated against the cancers that are caused by viruses. I think that's all I want to say for now. Yosh, thank you very much. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you very much, Doctor. And Dr. Azadeh is also here. We're just going to call him to come over and say something about cancer, because I think this talk is definitely inspirational. It's important for people to know what is happening in our country, and because a lot of us think cancer is in Senegal, it's in Nigeria, because we don't talk about it, so people don't know. So Dr. Azadeh, welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I was just watching Dr. Njai, who is actually cancer. Who is actually is a cancer expert. I'm sure she has been given a lot of information to you, and we are also quite happy to, if you have any question, to answer your question. For those one who don't know me, I am Dr. Hassan Azadeh. I'm a professor at the university, at the medical school, and I have been cancer, in particular the cervical cancer, is part of my everyday job. It is also very informative and sad to say that cervical cancer in the Gambia is quite common. It's maybe the second cause of death of the young Gambian when they end up with cervical cancer. The very unfortunate is that when they eventually come to the clinic for a checkup, about 89% of them, they are already having advanced cancer. So this is advanced, so that there is hardly anywhere in any country they can do for advanced cancer. And unfortunately, or maybe they should mention the cervical cancer is actually preventable. It's preventable because there is a simple test we gynecologists they can do and to identify about any abnormality of the neck of the womb. So it is advisable, although we have very few centers where you can go to and to get checked up. All what you need to do, I think, is that Banjul Hospital is doing, SOS is doing, and Medical, where I am, and we do the smear test. The smear test is a very simple and very harmless and very painless text to take, and which takes probably not longer than 10 minutes. We look under the by screen, in our machine we call it colposcope, and we look at the neck of the womb. If there is any abnormalities on the neck of the womb, we can detect. When we detect it, and we can eventually take kind of sampling, we can take in some biopsy from that area, and then give it to the another colleagues who cytologists or histologists. They can look under the microscope, and they can identify whether those tissues either been taken by a smear test, it's been given to them, or eventually by biopsies to say it is normal or it is abnormal. Now the warning is, if the smear test is normal, it doesn't mean that you should forget about it. I am okay and there is no cancer. You should at least, an average of every 2 years, in particular those women in their reproductive age, the women who are active, the women are still able to deliver and then get pregnant, every 2 years they should go to these centers we have and to get being checked. So if someone said this is normal, it doesn't mean this is the end. So then you need to go back again. The earlier the abnormality of the neck of the womb, of the cervix has been detected, there are some treatment. In particular, there are minor or eventually major operation to eventually to treat that. In particular, if the young woman, in fact, I've been giving a lecture this morning at university about the same topic of the cervical cancer, and we have seen that in average in the Gambia, very young women actually, they end up to have this cervical cancer by not going to do the test for the as we said, the smear test to do that, for example. So the ages are between 25 to 35 years of age. This is the women are young. The women, they have got perhaps few children, and then they will, unfortunately, they will die of and shortly, probably when the cancer get advanced, they cannot, so they leave the children without the mother, and then many other problems for that. So cancer is something, the only problem is I've been trying for years to find a local word for the cancer. Not in Wolof, not in Mandinka, not in Saraholis, and I try my best to find, and if anybody this evening here, I always announce this, they can give me an idea of what you can say in Wolof, in the local languages of what is cancer. Whenever we talk about cancer, they do not have really ideas to what does it mean. But people are more aware of diabetes, they understand. People are aware of hypertension, and high blood pressure, they understand. And this needs to be done. So then what we try with translation and advice to tell them, this is what they should do. You should go and every 2 years get this test done. And there is one of the virus, which human papillomavirus, then you will find in most of the vagina when you even do the examination. But if that through the sexually transmitted disease or pelvic infections, all those tissues in the vagina, they become very vulnerable. They are vulnerable for the penetration of any bacteria, any virus, and this is what should be avoided. So one of the main causes in the Gambia, when we do some studies and with the medical student, we find out this is those ones who are suffering frequently from sexually transmitted disease. They have more chance to get this cervical cancer. And the otherwise, we have even arranged some times ago, there is a vaccine. There is a vaccine we can give it to the younger children, the age between 9 and 14, about 3 injections. If at that age, they have this injection, they get as at that time. So about 98% of the those one in young age have this vaccine, then eventually they will not get cervical cancer. If they're beyond the age of 14 and 16, they're going up, still that injection could be help, but in the lower percentage. But that age, when we say 98% is when they started with the age of 9 and to the age of 14 or 13, they will get it. So, unfortunately, the injection is not available in the Gambia so far. It's very sad to say that. That injection, they are life-saving of the, but I can see we have quite a few people I can see here, they travel abroad. So whenever you are abroad, as we don't have the access here, and ask for this injection. And before you give the injection to the young girl of 9, you have to explain to that girl. In fact, in Europe, they have to, the young children at that age, they have to know about it, and they will consent it. So they have to agree to get this injection. So this is why this is a kind of education, medical education, and medical, then the parents be aware of it and do that. Please take my advice. All the ladies are sitting here, even at the age of nearly 50 years of age, trying to make use of little facilities we have in the Gambia. That are life-saving. So I cannot emphasize it more than this it is. So please, this is a message come out of my 32 years of being a gynecologist, most of the time spending here in the Gambia. So I am, Dr. Njai is here, I'm here. If you have any question, even a personal question, you can ask us, or anything we can help, and we can give any comment on that. And please let us know as we are here. And then we are quite grateful that we've been invited this evening here to give this awareness.
And of course, we're about to wrap up, but I think it's important for any of us here to talk to Dr. Azadeh or Dr. Njai. And of course, we have the young people to change, right, here as well. Change for a change, right? Your change for a change. They're here, Dr. Fatou and her team. They're all here, and I think we all need this talk. And of course, I've always said, I am one person who don't visit the hospital, but it's important for sometimes for us to check ourselves, because these are important. Cancer is very deadly, and it's important for us to be aware of our status and also help our people. If you know anybody who is sick, anybody who needs information, I think you should be able to exchange numbers here and have their contacts and get in touch. At this point, I want to invite the beautiful Olital and her team. They're going to have an auction. We're going to auction some of Yao's creation pieces to raise funds for SCAF. Yeah, Oli.
Events like that. So give everybody a round of applause, the organizers, the owners, etc. I too have a cancer story. I lost my mom to lung cancer 3 years ago. And as the Most High would have it, her birthday is tonight at midnight on the 14th. And my mother is Connie Tucker. Some of you may have known her. She did a lot of work in the Gambia, and she helped a lot of people all around the world. So I'm very humbled that my very, very good friend for over 15, 20 years has invited me to be a part of tonight's celebration of life, because that's what it is. We're celebrating Saini's life. It's not only an awareness, but it's a celebration of life. So I want to thank y'all for having me be a part of such a great celebration. You know, this type of work takes financial support. It's not something that you can just do on volunteer basis. You know, a lot of times people don't get funding for this type of work. So we as a community, when we see somebody doing work that is so brilliant and it's changing lives, educating people, trying to heal communities, you have to lift them up. And that's why we're here today, to not only talk about breast cancer, but come together and help support this cause financially, support this cause in our hearts, and take this message out to our community, to our families, because it could be anybody, and it might not be breast cancer. It could be lung, it could be prostate, it could be liver. Now, some of the speakers have talked about ways of preventing it, but I watched my mom in 1 month go from a healthy human being to a vegetable. And I know what caused that lung cancer. It was smoking. But when we talk about breast cancer, nobody really wants to talk about what really causes it. Nobody wants to talk about these chemicals that we as women put in our bodies on a daily basis, the makeups, the unnatural shampoos, the lotions, the bleaching creams, the perms, the polyester in our bras that come from PVC. That is what makes plastic. There's a chemical in there called dioxin. Dioxin causes cancer and reproductive disorders. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, go and do the research for yourself. There are little things that we do in our lives that are making us sick. There was a doctor that said that there's no word for cancer in Wolof, in Fula, in Jola, in Serahule, because it didn't exist. It didn't exist. So we started polluting our body with all these chemicals. Maggie, Jumbo. Maggie, Jumbo. Everybody puts this in your food on a daily basis. And we wonder why we're dying of cancer? My sisters, I love you so much. But this reputation and this culture of bleaching, it has got to stop. It's killing us. And you wonder why we're dying at 40 and 30 and 20? We can change our lives. We can live longer and dunda. My grandmother lived to 96. My grandfather lived to 112. My mother died at 64. I'm still healing. You know, that was my best friend. I don't know about the type of relationship what you have with your mother, but I can tell my mother anything, anytime. And even though she's gone physically, she's still here spiritually. We gain from that strength to keep us moving. I created a foundation, Connie Tucker Legacy Foundation, 3 years ago, and right now we have a camp going on at Caraba every Saturday from 12 to 4 p.m. Today was our second camp. We're teaching youth leadership and performing arts. Yao's used her creativity through her fashion, through her creativeness to heal. We have to learn how to work with each other, and we've got to heal our people. We are dying at an alarming rate. Yes, come back home. Lady sister doctor says she's been away for 20 years. Me too. I've been away on and off for many years, but I'm back because I see my people need me. So let us come out of our pockets and raise some funds tonight so Yao's and SCAF can keep doing this great work. Am I right? Yeah. All right, now we've got this wonderful painting. We've got this wonderful painting that has been donated to us by the famous Suelle, whose place we're at right now. Give it up for Suelle. And of course, I know many of you have seen her circulating all over the internet because she is fly. She is hot. She has got it going on, and she represents this fight against cancer, and we call her the Pink Lady. All right, take her around so y'all can see her. Take her around. You know I got some big money people in the audience, so we're not starting small. We're going to start big. And this is the most expensive piece that we'll be auctioning off tonight. I'm going to start the bid at $5,000 C. $5,000 C. Can I get a 1? Can I get a 2? $5,000 C. Come on now. This art. $5,000 C. Come on now. It's a fundraiser. $3,500 C's. You frame this. This is going to be a legacy in the future. $3,500 C. We're starting at $3,500 C. Come on now. And we're going once. Do we have anybody for $3,500 C? $1,000 C. $4,000 C? $4,000 C over here? Talk to me. Talk to me. What about over here on the left? I see all these young gentlemen on the left. You all look like y'all got some deep pockets. 4,000. $4,500 C. Young man, all right, $4,500 C in the back. 5,000, anybody? 5,000. We're back at 5. Come on now, $5,000 C. $5,000 C. Remember, we're supporting SCAF. It's a fundraiser, y'all. You look like y'all might like this post. Come on now, $5,000 C. What you say? What you say? $5,000 C. $5,000 C. What about the gentleman in the back? $5,000 C. $5,000 C. All right, 5-5. Can we get 5-5? It's going towards healing breast cancer. It's going towards educating for preventing breast cancer. Can we get 5,500, my people? 5,500, my people? Anybody? Somebody? Everybody? 5,000. Mama Africa. 5,000. 5,500. Okay, can we get 6,000? Can we get 6,000? Can we get 6,000? Can we get 6,000? 5,500 right here. Can we get 6,000 in the back? 6,000. All right, now we get tongue on it. All right, 6,000 right here. 6,000. Can we get 6,500? 6,500. Can we get 6,500? 6,500? Come on now. Don't forget, it's a fundraiser. It's a fundraiser now. We got a lot of work to do. Farafenye, Basset, Buyam, Somaka. We're going to do 6,000. What's going on? 6,000? 6,500? 6,500, am I right? 6,500 going once. 6,500 going twice. 500 right here. 7,500 right here. Do I hear 8,000? Do I hear 8,000? Do I hear 8,000? Do I hear $8,000 C? It's a fundraiser, y'all. Give yourselves a round of applause. $8,000 C. Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is one of Yao's original pieces. And of course, you know you can always check her out at Yao's Boutique right in Brufruit. So we're going to start this one off at $1,000 C. $1,000 C. $1,000 C. $1,000 C. Can I see anybody for $1,000 C? 1,005 over here. 1,005 right here. 1,005. $3,000 C. Can I get $3,000 C? $3,000 C over here. $3,000 C. All right, all right. Can I get 3,500? 3,500. 3,500 right here. $3,500 C. All right, all right. Can I get 4,000? $4,000 C. $4,500 C. Hey, hey, I feel me get egg. $4,500 C. Can I get $5,000 C? 5,000. Can I get $5,000 C, please? Can I get $5,000 C? $5,000 C. Here. Yes, Fatou show. $5,000 C over here. Can I get 5,500? 5,500 right down here. Okay, 5,500. Can I get 6,000? Can I get 6,000? Can I get 6,000? Kid Fatou. Can I get 6,000? 6,000 right here. Kid Fatou. 6,500 right here. 6,500 right here. Can I get 7? Can I get 7? 7. Can I get 7? Can I get 7? Can I get 7? 7. 7. Kid Fatou. 7. 7 for Kid Fatou. 7. 7 for Kid Fatou. $8,000 C. Can I get $8,000 C? Can I get $8,000 C? She said 10. We got 8,000 right here. 8,000. Can I get 8,500? 8,500. 8,500. Can I get 8,500? 8,500. The Elegance for $8,500 C. 9,000. Oh, 9,000. 9,500. 9,500 for Elegance. Are we at 10,000? 10,000 for Kid Fatou. $10,000 C. Do we want 10,500? 10,500? We want 10,500? Are we at 10,500? Going once? Going twice? Sold to Kid Fatou at $10,000 C. Woo! All right now, what's our next? The men's. Okay, we're gonna start at 1,000 for the men's. 1,000, $1,000 C. Can I get $1,000 C? $1,000 C. Original Yao's Creation menswear brown. $1,000 C. $1,000 C over here. Thank you very much. Can I get 1,500? 1,500? 1,500 over here. 1,500 over here. Do I hear 2,000? Do I hear 2,000? Do I hear $2,000 C? Do I hear 2,000? 2,000 over here, 2,000 over here, $2,000 seat right here on my left. See over here, 3,000, $3,000 seat over here, $3,000 seat over here. What do you say, my bro? $3,000 seat. What do we say? $3,000 seat over here. Are we doing 3-5? Are we going 3-5? Are we going 3-5? Remember, it's a fundraiser. We need these funds to do the work. We can't do this work without the support. Sold for $3,000. This is incredible. So you know that this situation and this issue is something that we've got to do something about in the Gambia. And that's why we have to applaud SCAF and all that they are doing to bring breast cancer awareness throughout the Gambia. It's an initiative that has to be supported. When you see that she's going all the way out to the provinces to do a march, that is something very special, because sometimes we just tend to focus on the Combos and Banjul, and we forget that the Gambia has so many other areas. And those people sometimes get forgotten. Sometimes those people are the voiceless people. And we have to make sure those of us in populated areas don't forget about those Gambians that are living in rural areas that need our support, that need education, that need assistance. They need institutions, they need jobs, they need projects, they need, things for their youth to be exposed to. If we're gonna have a better Gambia, these are the things that we have to do, the things that SCAF is doing. So again, one more time, let's give Yosh and SCAF a round of applause, and also let's give Yosh a round of applause, because this is so beautiful. Isn't this beautiful? It's a beautiful ambience, so make sure you come out and support. Don't let this event be the only time you come here. Come and book it to do your different events. Expensive, cher, difficile, cher wine, and limited edition means that it's 1 in a million. So we're gonna start this one out at 1,500, going 1. Can I hear $2,000? Do we hear $2,000? $2,000. $2,000 right here, $2,000. I'm telling you, you want to take a taste of this Prosecco. 2,500 over here. How much? $5,000 over here. Hello, give her a round of applause. 5,000. Can I get 5,500? 5,500. 5,500. Limited edition. Money be don't come on must spend it. 5,500, I say. Going once. 5,000 money be do come on must defend limited edition. 5,500 going twice. 5,500. Sold. $5,000 right here to the sister on the right. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful fundraiser.